Hello, my darlings. Before we get started, let me clarify any sources of confusion. If you're anything like me, you're sitting there banging your head going, what is this woman talking about? What's the difference between an aha and an idea worth spreading? Then what's this superpower game she keeps talking about? How do we take our superpower and turn it into our idea worth spreading? Well, let me take these points step by step. Try to eliminate any confusion before we get to the juicy role-playing, journaling, transformative segment. To me, the difference between an aha and an idea worth spreading is that ahas are very useful building blocks for personal growth. They'll get us close, but not all the way to a full-blown contribution. In very concrete, literal terms, ahas, well, they're innies if they were belly buttons. Ideas worth spreading, on the other hand, those are outie belly buttons. Ideas worth spreading are full-blown contributions. They are no longer in the brain. We are out them spreading in the world. We've completed our heroine's journey when we come up with an idea worth spreading, and we spread it. For me, there was an important missing step. I realized that my ahas, they told me why I felt invisible, why I couldn't speak for the world's water crisis, but they didn't tell me how to get unstuck. The reason I believe is that these were pieces of myself, my ahas, that were frozen, fragmented, very young parts of me that were frozen in time, literally stuck in time. To help them grow, to help these aha pieces thaw, I had to sweet talk myself with a little hard candy. That's when I came up with the game, Is It Possible? In the game of Is It Possible, we speak to our very frightened, fragmented, young parts of ourselves in a language the child understands. Make believe. Is it possible? Just possible. Those of us who grew up without voice, without visibility, we have a secret superpower we didn't even know we owned. It's so secret. What is that secret superpower? Invisibility. Now, right here, I'm letting myself acknowledge that what was previously a form of my greatest shame, if I actively owned it and claimed it, it will turn into a superpower. Then, when we actively own, when we actively claim what was formerly shameful to us, the most shameful parts of ourselves, when they become actively owned as our superpower, actively claimed, that's when we create the gift of the shift. That's when we go from victim to victor. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump between saying invisibility is my superpower to playing another game, giving ourselves permission to say, is it possible? Those of us who grew up without voice, without visibility, well, we are highly qualified, permission, to speak for a source of suffering that cannot speak for itself, precisely because no one knows more than we do what it feels like to be incapable of giving our own suffering a voice, our own injustice a voice. Our heart remembers exactly what that feels like. So rather than using it as something against ourselves, we are actively owning it, claiming it, letting it transform us into creating what we want most, which is a contribution to the world, an idea worth spreading. We're going to practice.